TIFU by letting a guy use my bathroom during our garage sale. Happened over the summer. So, we're in the process of moving and I figure now is a good time to unload most of the stuff my wife and I have collected over the years, which is a lot considering we have children. Last weekend we had a pseudo estate sale in which was staged in half of the house, driveway, and garage. Considering it was about 1000 degrees outside, I took the garage while my wife manned the inside post. Midway through the day, an elderly gentleman asked if he could use my bathroom. He explained he just took medicine and didn't think he'd be able to make it home. Now, my wife and I had serious rules about this. Our answer was supposed to be no bathroom for customers. However, I had to make a snap judgment call and this guy looked very well put. Just needed to take a quick squirt and we'd all be fat, dumb, and happy. But I'm not a complete idiot. I told him he'd better check with the boss upstairs because of the aforementioned agreement. He chuckled and understood and away he went. 10 minutes or so later, I see him leaving. I figured all is well. A few minutes after that, my wife comes down to the driveway glaring at me. I assumed it was because I shirked the responsibility of telling this old guy no bathroom and made her look like the bad guy if she said no. I couldn't be more wrong. Apparently this guy had a colostomy bag and it was chock full of excrement. He tried to change it out in our bathroom and spilled the entire contents all over the floor and made no attempt to clean it up. He simply walked out of the bathroom and told my wife our dog must have had an accident. He blamed my dog. TIFU by not washing down a bloody nose out of my bathtub. Last night around 4 AM. I got one of my worst bloody noses I've ever had, gross bleeding and my tub looks like a war zone. Usually, I would wash it down. However, it was 4 AM, and I didn't want to wake up my parents or sister with running water. I left it for today. This morning, I'm woken up by my mom screaming. Before I have time to comprehend what's going on, she storms into my room screaming please be alive, thinking I've cut myself. However, my mom doesn't know this. I struggled with her to keep myself covered, ask what the problem is, and she is asking if I'm suicidal. Confused, I ask her why would she think that, and she said your bathtub, oh boy. Had to explain that I had a bloody nose, didn't wash it down, and mom though I was suicidal. TIFU my first date. I'm a very socially awkward person. So when the numerous hours of back and forth chit chat with women on Tinder resulted in a first date, I was ecstatic. We had matched a week or two back to my surprise and started talking about my conversational cannon fodder of questions started to run dry. I decided F it and asked if she wanted to see Rogue One with me last Friday night. She said yes. The night comes and I decide to start getting ready by picking out some nice looking clothes aside from the typical BS that I wear on a daily basis. Jeans, a white shirt, boots, and a nice jacket I'd received from my mother on Christmas. It was raining too, so I grabbed an umbrella on my way out. I get on the train and walk to the rendezvous. I walk out into the rain with the umbrella to meet her. We shake hands, say hi to one another, and I ask if she's ready to head down to the movie theater. She says yes and off we go. Here's where it went south. We're walking through the rain and come up to a big, water-filled street corner. I'm not sure whether it was nerves or my own lack of social skills which compelled me to do what I did, but I immediately stop and start to take off my jacket. Confused, she asks what I'm doing, to which I reply, I got this. She quickly realizes what I'm about to do and starts saying, oh, you don't have T-dart. I cut her off by throwing my jacket into this huge puddle, expecting her to walk on it and onto the curb like you see in old movie shows. The silence quickly makes me realize what I've done. I mutter out after you, and she continues to stare at me. Without a word, she ghosts me on the spot. I pick TIFU by changing a client's desktop background to sexy Pikachu. This just happened 2 hours ago. I work for a net company that services many small medium businesses. I'm in an office with about 8-10 other technicians. We like playing pranks, and anytime one of our techs leaves their computer unlocked, we change their background to weird stuff. I had just got out of a meeting and realized the new guy left his PC unlocked. I sneaked around to his cubicle since he was just on the other side talking to another guy. I quickly pulled up IE and googled sexy and I went back into background settings and set it to tile across his screen. Standard stuff. I quickly sneak back to my computer without being detected and wait for him to sit back down and notice. He notices right away and we have a good laugh about it. Background, not mine. I kid you not, at that very moment, another tech walks up with a goofy ass grin and says, "Hey, I have Jane Doe on the phone." She says someone put something inappropriate on one of her computers and she wants to talk to someone about it. Jane Doe happens to be the main point of contact and decision maker for that particular client. I also believe she's the owner's daughter. At first, we think our coworker is messing with us, but he's not. He's just basking in the moment of instant karma. I stand there for a good 30 seconds before I say okay, send her over to me. I'm a director and I have a working relationship with. I listen to what she has to say. She had a mixture of confusion and anger in her voice. She attempts to describe what she felt like was an inappropriate background on a new PC and she wants to know what's going on. I tell her that one of our techs tried to prank another tech by changing his background, not realizing they were connected to a client. I apologize for it. I tell her the tech will be reprimanded and that it won't happen again. I hang up the phone and slap my left hand with my right while calling myself a D-bag. I'm locking my computer for you, or hey, I'm remoted into a client computer. Do you want to change the background? TLDR. Tried to change coworkers he was connected to instead. Main point of contact for that client saw the background and immediately called in wanting to talk to the manager. I'm manager.